Hello, this is Kai Marie, and you're listening to episode 13, season 1 of the Healing Element Podcast. If you are watching this episode on the Healing Element Podcast YouTube channel, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you are listening by audio, please be sure to download today's episode. Today's topic is taking control of your healing journey. Hope you enjoy. Hello, and welcome to the Healing Element Podcast, a weekly discussion giving you the tools to understand and heal from intergenerational trauma. I am your host, Kai Marie. To find out more information about the topics discussed today, visit kaimarie.com. Hi, this is Kai Marie, and welcome to the Healing Element Podcast. We're going to have a fun time today. I can already tell y'all this. We're going to have fun. Today's topic is taking control of our healing journey, and I have a very special guest with me, Queen Nef. And before I introduce her, I just want to tell you a little bit about our topic today. She is the CEO and co-founder of Wellness is Life, and she's going to share with us how we can begin to take control of our mental, emotional, and physical health in order to heal and break the cycle of generational trauma. This is going to be a fun conversation, of course, serious, but I think that it's very much so needed in our society. So with that being said, I welcome the lovely Queen Nef to our podcast. For those that may be new to you and your work, can you please share with us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I just want to thank you so much for having me, Kai. I'm excited. I've been excited since the first day I saw you had a cast. Now, again, um, healing element extremely now and for a lifetime. It's always necessary for space for healing. I am a certified yoga instructor and medical yoga skills, and a massage therapist. Do Thai massage therapy as well as auricular therapy and a couple of other traditional Chinese medicine modalities. It's also Korean therapy, which is a way of healing through that. So I've worked with Veterans Administration in Chicago, and I traveled the world doing yoga and wellness retreats, and started this life in 2017, and it's been an amazing journey ever since. You and for other healing practitioners, holistic practitioners that are out here doing great work, and this is just a absolute pleasure to be here with you all today. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. We're so happy to have you. And when you and I had talked prior to when I was kind of asking you about the podcast and what I had in mind, it was very much so different than actually the topic today. But because through our conversation, I had so many ideas. I had to like kind of pare it down. And because with the knowledge that you have, your experience, and also your passion and commitment to seeing people heal so they can live their best lives, like there was so much that could fit in that type of that person that kind of brings that to the table. But the one thing that I really appreciated is that you said, the importance of it, the importance for people to really take control and to begin to heal. And with that, as we talk, like there is that part where it's kind of like you're comforting a person, like say if you're helping someone or friend or family that's going through their healing process. But then sometimes there is that like tough love too that you got to provide. Like, listen, I'm gonna give it to you straight. You gotta get it together. So when we started talking about that, I was like, okay, I feel like this is necessary because I know on my path, at some points, I needed people to say, okay, stop with the crying and whining. You need to make a change. Obviously, what you're currently doing isn't working. You need to make a change. And so there's sometimes when you can say it, with that love, and the other times you just need that hard, cold truth. Straight shot, no chaser. Just like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you today.
Like, get yourself.
Yeah, right.
Get your life.
So share with me, what does it mean to take control of your healing journey?
To take control means to ask yourself, not be afraid to ask yourself the hard questions,
Mhm.
and not be afraid to give yourself those answers.
Mhm.
Those are, there's questions that we have daily about, ourselves and the things we do. We hear those questions come up in
Mhm.
certain situations, like
Mhm.
why would you react like that? Or what
Mhm.
made you go off on that person? Or why didn't you speak up more? So we hear those sounds, those voices and those statements, and we're afraid to approach those because we live in a space of fear a lot of times because of what our life has shown us along the way and how we have chosen to take those situations and made these stories and place them in our life. And life is an experience. So it's like either you can take what you're learning along the way and use it for your betterment, or you're going to pile it on top of all the other traumas, and it's just going
Right.
to weigh you down.
Right.
So taking control means that you're approaching those questions as they come up. I used to
Mhm.
have my children when they would do things, after they would do them, instead of me just going off and completely, losing it, I would
Mhm.
say, why did you do that? What thoughts were you having that led you up to saying, this is a good idea for me to do? And
Mhm.
so it made them go into their space and say, wow,
Mhm.
why did I do that? Instead of, I don't know, which I never accepted. I don't know. No,
Mhm.
no. Let's talk about it. Let's
Mhm.
find out why you chose that route. And then what did you expect the outcome to be? So asking those hard questions and not being afraid to answer those questions, because at the end of that conversation with my children, most of the time it would be, oh, mom, I didn't think about it like that.
Right.
I
Right.
thought I thought I would get away with it. Or,
Mhm.
it was always a truth that had to come out at the end.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's taking control right there. That's like the first step. Is like saying, okay, I'm listening to me. I'm gonna
Mhm.
listen to what I have to say to
Right.
myself.
That's so true. And part of that, when you are beginning to take control of your healing journey, you have to then, as you just demonstrated, you have to be accountable for your actions. Like
That's
you
right.
can no longer say, well, that's just how I am. Well, I always
Exactly.
respond that way. Because now you're
Hmm.
reflecting on, well, why do I respond that way?
Exactly. Yeah.
And when you start asking yourself questions,
Yeah.
then you will get answers, because then you'll start to notice through that reflection. And it's been my experience through that reflection, when I started to ask myself questions and not just react, or I would react and then say, why did I react that way? Then I would
Hmm.
start thinking back, and many of the reactions that I had as an adult, a lot of it stemmed from stuff from childhood.
Exactly.
So then I had to go back to that and then start to address it.
Hmm. Right. Right. We are, constantly telling ourselves, you know, building our own story as we go
Mhm.
along, is what I'll
Mhm.
say. Because, action, and then there's this reaction, and then there's a chain reaction of things that happen. So once that thing happens, it's, instead of us diving into the same space where we always do, because, everything comes back, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
instead of us diving into the same part of the
Mhm.
pool,
Mhm.
it's time to like say, okay, let me wait for a second, let that part of the pool go around. I'm gonna
Right.
dive in here. You
Right.
know, what's different about this area here? Maybe
Mhm.
there I can get further here, or maybe I can get
Mhm.
deeper here.
Right.
So yeah, just creating, the stories that are finding out what stories we've created over
Mhm.
the time,
Mhm.
and saying to yourself, okay, I want to change that. I don't like when I feel that way. I
Right.
don't like when I react to that question, or and you start to like check yourself. My mom used to say, check yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
You need a self check or something like that. She used to say, check
Right.
yourself
Uh-huh.
before you wreck yourself. Well, that was
Right.
before the song came out. But she would tell us, you better check yourself. You're
Uh-huh.
like, dang, what do you mean by that? Like, what do I need to? I'm fine, but no, she means mentally, you need to do some research before you
Mhm.
get not, before you
Right.
get in timeout,
Mhm.
you know. And so, instead of creating that same story and just falling into that same trap, we have got to start looking at what's happening first. Start getting in contact with that emotion and finding out where in the body are we feeling that emotion, and why, a lot of the anger and stuff in our livers, we feel pain in our midsection. We're like, man, every time I feel angry with someone, I get this aching pain where my liver is. Well, that's because that's where the liver it holds anger. And so, just really being receptive to what our body is telling us.
Yeah, that's really listening to our body, because our body is sending us signals. It's just if we are sensitive enough to hear it,
That's
and
right.
then when we hear it, act on it. So a lot
Right.
of the work that you do, it kind of speaks a little bit to that. So somebody, for example, someone comes to you with a back pain.
Right.
If you start working on that, you could say, oh no, honey, this ain't because you lift that heavy box.
Right.
There's something deep. Can you share a little bit about that?
Who got on your nerve? Like, who touched you there as a child? It could be a trauma where an uncle, every time that he was ready, would touch you in that spot.
Wow. Yeah.
So then there's a trauma in that spot. So every time your husband or your boyfriend or even maybe somebody just unsuspecting touch you in that spot, you jump because that's a trigger for you. But not being afraid to reflect on what our life was is what a lot of us we shy away from. But when they come to me with, oh, I got a pain here. Okay, well, let's first address the pain. Okay. So what happened? So I'll let people get it out, because most people want to get out what girl, I was working on this and I was working on that. And what's this? They give you, and you're listening, but at the same time, I'm listening to what you're not saying. I'm hearing, I'm feeling, oh, you were stressed this morning. So when you left the house this morning, you were stressed. Why were you stressed this morning when you left the house? What, either a child, maybe a phone call, maybe a bill came, something triggered something. And then you allowed that same repetitious cycle to go. You reacted in the same way. Now you have a chain reaction of the same event happening over and over again. We're in pain. We're in pain. I stay in pain. I stay in pain. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
So then we start to go into the story, and people, and they just lead. It just leads right into it. They just, and then when I was a child, people want to tell somebody that they can trust, and they don't even, a lot of people tell me, I don't even know why I'm telling you this. Well, look, honestly, I don't know why you are either, but Spirit said, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
In the beginning, it was like that. I was like, I don't know why you're telling me. But, of course, now I'm like, this is what I'm here for. Like my purpose is to truly assist people into finding that better space, that homeostasis, that balance in their life through yoga, through nutrition, through Thai massage, through touch therapy, through tapping. There's so many ways that we can actually get in there and figure out the whys, and so we can get rid of those. We can get rid of that. And it's okay to have whys. It's absolutely okay to have a bunch of whys, but we're going to let whys, because whys, we can't build a foundation on why. We can't build a foundation on why.
Yeah.
So we got to break all the barrier down. We're going to use those whys, the rubble from it. Then we're going to start building the foundation from the rubble of the whys.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
And laying that concrete formation on top, nice and smoothing it out with our Thai massage, with our tapping, with our CBD, with whatever with your yoga, with your meditation, with a combination of all of those.
Right.
Because you can get a bunch of orange bottles with the white tops. They'll give you a list of those. So why don't we use holistic practices, dive in with some stuff that's just natural and innate just within us to do, and find those practitioners that'll help us get to that point.
Right.
So that's why Wellness is Life came along, because I was like, I need a team.
Yeah.
And this team has got to be huge. It's over 300 wellness libraries. I mean, it needs to be bigger than that.
Yeah.
because there's so
Can you
many
talk about
people.
Wellness Lifer? Can you talk more about the Wellness Lifer, and then we'll hop back to the conversation about the healing?
Yeah.
Because I think that's so awesome. And if anyone's listening,
Mhm.
you need to become a Wellness Lifer.
um, wellness is life. Wellness is life. Like I said, 2017. It
Hmm.
came to me. I don't really know where the name came from. I can't remember. You know, a lot of
Hmm.
people say, "Oh, I remember I was driving in a car." I do not remember. I might have just come up out of my sleep. You know,
Hmm.
it's just, wellness is life. But when it came to me, I didn't know exactly what it was. I was a hairstylist.
Hmm.
I've been doing. I was been a cosmetologist at that time for like 17 years.
Hmm.
And I knew I wanted to retire and I wanted to get into holistic healing and holistic wellness. I was already teaching behind the chair. I was preaching behind the chair because your hair is telling the story. Your skin is going to tell me the story. So it doesn't matter what you say you're eating or drinking, it's coming out, right?
The truth is
So
going
I
to be
was always
revealed.
on that pathway. Yeah. So I was always on that pathway of nutrition
Hmm.
and health and wellness and stuff. And so I mean, I've had my battles with weight and all that stuff, but it came back to the health and wellness piece. And I said, well, when I retire from hair at 41, I'm going to dive into health and wellness.
Hmm.
Wellness is Life came along. Um, I, I I was so excited about the name
Hmm.
because it says so much. And
Yeah.
so I was like, well, how can I reach more people? Because I can't do this by myself. As big as in my mind, this is huge.
Hmm. Hmm.
Life
Right.
is huge.
Right.
So I'm thinking, wow, okay, I need more people. Like, how do I find more people? I was new to Facebook, really wasn't, I mean, I had, Facebook and all this stuff and Instagram. I wasn't really on that. But then I got on there because my children had told me I needed a page. So I got on Instagram and I just started seeing other yogis that were of color. I
Hmm.
was like, wow, really?
Yeah.
So the more I started posting and the more I started seeing, I was like, oh, I want to know them. Like, I want to be able to talk to that person.
Hmm.
So I figured out that there's direct message, and I was like, wow, ooh, let's go there. So I went there and I was like, peace, hi, Queen
Uh-huh.
Nef, well, Fatima Nefertiti, and how are you? And da da da. And I just wanted to connect with you. And people would reach right back to me, and I'm like, wow, they're extremely accessible. Like,
Right.
and then a lot of times people were so excited that you said something to them, like, "Hey, yes, I'm so happy to meet you," and yeah, da, da, da. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, so I'm excited to be here. And
Uh-huh.
so as I was going through the DM and I started adding more, I started reaching out to more people.
Mhm.
I woke up one morning and something said, invite them, invite them, you know, invite them into a group.
Mhm.
I don't even know anything about. I'm just learning about DM. Da 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 da. So I get this. The spirit tells me what to do. So of course, what do? I type up an invite,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, hey, da 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 da. I don't, let's just be in a group together.
Uh-huh.
When I first started, Instagram would only allow you to have 15 people in a DM in a group
Mhm.
message. So I was only able to put 15 people. But when I say I started asking people if they wanted to be a part of this group, they were like, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, I've been praying for this. I prayed to the spirit for a group of people that I could connect with,
Mhm.
healers that think like me,
Mhm.
people I can bounce ideas off of. I'm like, yes, that is the
Mhm.
purpose of this group. It's for us to
Mhm.
share thoughts,
Mhm.
share our positive energy, support one another's
Mhm.
workshops, classes, seminars, collaborate on retreats. Like, let's just take over the world with wellness and health
Mhm.
and wholeness. Let's do that
Yes.
together. There's
Right.
enough. Let's not be in the crabs in a barrel type of mentality. Let's
Mhm.
live to our highest vibration. Let's share. You
Mhm.
know, there's
Mhm.
enough.
Mhm.
There's enough people in the world. You have these pharma companies that are thinking that, oh no, we can't help heal everybody. Well, there's like, there's enough of us that
Mhm.
illnesses are going to happen. People are going to be born with different traits and things like that. It's not going to end.
Mhm. Mhm.
So why not do what we can in the healthiest way, so that we have longevity. So anyway, Wellness is Life came along, and it just opened my eyes. There's people from France. We have South African tribe members. We call it a tribe.
Yes.
Wellness Lifer right here.
Uh-huh.
Kai
Right
has been
here,
in
wellness lifer.
since right? Since the beginning. And we're just, now we're all COVID, so we're all really supporting throughout the groups, just sending in messages of support. And we have a lot of online classes, yogis that are doing online classes, and other exercise enthusiasts that are doing classes, and vegan
Mhm.
cooks and chefs in California and all over the world, all over the world,
Yeah.
there are wellness lifers. So, and it's growing,
Yeah.
it's great.
It's amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for
That's
putting
our,
that
that's our
together.
support system.
Huh?
I said, that's our support system.
Yes. And it's so great because you meet
Mhm.
so many other people um that are doing some type of healing work. And just to be able to like go to
Right.
their page and learn maybe another type of healing modality, or just connect with someone,
Exactly.
oh, like what you said with the recipes, like, oh yeah, maybe that's something I can try at home as we try to eat
Hmm.
healthy, to make sure that we are eating healthy foods for our immune system, for our mental, emotional, physical health. So
Right.
I'm so thankful that that's something
Yes.
that you started. It has been helpful for me, and I was happy to connect with you, obviously, from that we were able to connect that way.
Yes. Yes. I've done retreats with Dr. Stephen Redmond. We do regular retreats to Cuba. I'm able to do auricular therapy and Thai yoga massage in Cuba. So that's wonderful to have that experience. That's been over almost 3 years now.
Hmm.
And Sata Jala is one of our, my holistic moon goddess. We were planning one for July for Jamaica.
Hmm.
So we're going to postpone
Oh.
the trip,
Oh,
but that's
keep me
okay. We're still going to
posted
have.
about Cuba and Jamaica.
Oh,
Please do. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like people are just like connecting all over the place, and
Right.
it's necessary. And yeah, I truly appreciate the ancestors, my spirit guides, the creator, God, who who affect the goodness of my life. I
Yes.
thank, and I have so much gratitude for that, because this is why I'm here talking to you today.
Yes. No, I'm so grateful for that. And, I think people that have had experiences and they know what it's like when you don't maybe have like a support system, so the value, like the value that you're bringing to this space, and also for people to feel comfortable sharing their stories. And
Yes.
so what we were just talking about when we were saying, as you start to do the work, like a client comes into you, you create that environment through your energy, your spirit. They feel like this is a safe space where I can come. And so they come in for the back, the leg, the hip, the thigh, but then other things start to come to the
Yeah.
surface. As you said, they start to share. So could you
Hmm.
share with us a little bit about Thai massage?
Hmm.
And because you said, because certain times there can be, we can hold emotions in certain parts of our body, and sometimes through that massage, it can kind of release it out. Can you share with us a little bit about that?
Yes. Thai massage is, I use my body to heal, or to help assist your body in the healing process.
Hmm.
So it is a floor practice. We usually, um, you lay on the floor. We don't have any, extensive thick mats or anything that's making it super comfortable for you, because the point is for the body to be at its most organic state. Okay, so we want it flat on the floor. We may have like a slight mat under it, but it's nothing that's to give you like that temper posturepedic, you know, conforming to your body's, because if your body is not in alignment and this mattress is conforming to it, what are
Mm-hmm.
we doing?
Right,
Okay,
right.
so we're creating that space. So what we do with Thai, we are creating a different space.
Mhm.
And so we use our hands, we use our feet, we use our elbows, I use my knees, and we go into the areas of the body that are prone to holding stagnation. So if a person comes in, let's say with a back or upper back problem, more than likely I'm going to start low, um, below the area, and
Mhm.
then I'll work above the area. So if they're having pains here, I'm going to be working the lower extremities, maybe starting at the feet, doing the reflexology points on the feet that
Love
correlate with that.
reflexology. Oh my God, I
Right.
love reflexology. Oh, I feel like I'm floating after that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
Yeah.
hear. I hear that quite, and that's how it feels for me too. It feels like I
Mhm.
could just like I'm levitating right out of here. Like
Yeah.
don't even worry about it. Yeah. So that what that does is there's points all throughout the body, and so throughout the body, you can activate those points just by a little bit of acupressure.
Mm.
So you go into whatever areas where the points are, and we're just going to press into those areas, and we're just applying our thumb pressure into that area and releasing that stagnation. There's lines that carry that energy through our body, which are called meridian lines, and we have meridian lines all over our body, everywhere, and they are connected to our energy points or our marma points. And so these different points in the body, you got the lines, you got the points, there are points here following through, everything is connected because our body is one unit. We kind of tend to forget that it's only one unit because, if you're feeling pain over here, you're thinking, oh man, the pain is here. Well, it might be radiating from on this side.
Wow.
It's radiating over here, but the pain is actually coming from the other side of
On
the
the
body.
opposite side.
So we
Wow.
work from, we start off from the bottom and we're going to work our way up. Sometimes, specific sessions, if someone is coming in for something like the rest, I'm working with an athlete that's just in for a second, then I go to, there's other ways that I go around it. But
Mhm.
for a full session, you're going to start off, rocking the body. First, we start in prayer, which is called puja, and then we're gonna start off at the bottom. We will work our way up to the top of the head. So, but these points that I talk about, that we have are they're basically places where tension, toxins, and things like that like hang out because we do so much of the same repetitive movements and things every day. Like
Mhm.
you get up, go brush your teeth, you go get your coffee. These are the same repetitive movements. You don't get up, go do your yoga. Some people do some
Mhm.
calisthenics before they get out of the bed.
Mhm.
Some people do, but the majority of us don't. We get up, we get the children up, we get the husband moving, and we're just doing our thing. We're not really thinking about, you know, what I need. Like,
Right.
what do I
Right.
need for
There's
me?
like a total disconnect to what you don't have
Total
time to
disconnect.
really
Like,
think what your body needs or what your body's telling you.
yeah, we're like robots.
Yeah.
We're like robots, and I've never been a good robot. So even as a child, I just was. My mom is like, where is it? So, but when they get up in the morning, I tell my clients, I'm like, hey, before you get up, wake up, sit there for a moment, open your eyes, or before you even open your eyes, stay there first. And that's right when you start to feel the light come over the eyes, right?
Mhm.
You feel that.
Mhm.
That's when you have that. It's the awakening. You feel the light. You're like, okay, dang, it's daytime.
Yeah.
But then you just hop up and go. Take a
Right.
minute and stay there for a second. Check out the body. How does the body feel right now?
Mhm.
In your conscious state, how do you feel right now? Before you get up and get moving. Any stiffness? And if it is stiffness, go into the stiffness and stay into the stiffness until it's gone.
Mhm.
Move the arms, you got to tell people to actually connect with themselves.
Yeah.
So,
That's so true. I
even
just
though
wanted
I'm,
to say to what you said about that point, like when you wake up, because now we're in such a culture, and I do this myself, and I'm really working on not doing this. As soon as I get up, what do? Reach for my phone,
phone,
right? So
yeah,
before I even connect with myself, I'm looking
yeah,
to connect with somebody else. And
right.
not even through a conversation, just through my energy looking at something else.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one thing that I am definitely working on before. And it's such a habit. It's such like a audit. Like before I even know I reach for my phone, and I'm looking at it.
On
So
it.
like,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a conscious thing to sit there and, as you said, just lay there for a moment, connect with yourself
Right.
first.
Yes.
Then prepares you to then carry on the rest of your day to connect with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also
Right.
taking control of your healing by doing that, by saying, no, I'm going to
Exactly.
focus on me right now before I can tend to
Yeah.
anybody else.
Before you get the task,
Yeah.
before you start making the list, check in. even if you start making a list and you realize you're making a list, stop making a list. It's okay, because this is a practice. We are practicing this every day. Before you reach over, if you wake up and you reach over and you grab it and you start scrolling, nope, turn off the screen. You don't even want the screen up. Put it over there and just lay back down and close your eyes. Your spirit will lead you right back to where you say you want to go.
Yeah.
We are in complete control of ourselves. We are the masters of our universe. We are in complete. That's the part when it comes in the transformation from the trauma is when you're saying like, okay, we're going to start here, but then we're going to get to the point where it's like, okay, that's enough.
Right.
You're getting me angry. Check in. You wake up. Check in, and then lay back down, bring yourself back to that peaceful space and just be there for a few minutes. It doesn't take much, but anytime we do that, we're starting to connect with those points. We're connecting with our energy source. We're connecting with the Meridian Lines. We're connecting with our third eye. We're connecting with our chakras when we're just laying there in our conscious state. And ready to receive. What is it I need to know today? How about you ask that question? What is it that I need to know today? What is it that is going to lead me towards my successes today? What is going to lead me away from my traumas today and towards healing today? We got to start finding those ways of speaking to ourselves, gentle ways of speaking with ourselves, and then get up and get moving.
Yes.
But in that,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but in that service, that's what I'm doing for you. I'm reaching into those energy spaces and I'm saying, hey, how are you doing today? As I'm going through your body, I'm talking to your spaces and I'm saying, I release you today. I'm giving honor to each and every blood vessel and each and every capillary that's in your body. I'm happy about your lymphatic system today. So we're, as we're doing these services, we're not just touching people and making that money. Yeah, that's what it's all about. No, we're just, I hate to say, like bleeding in, like just breathing into that person, all the goodness and all the positive and all the healing energy and all the affirmations. We're feeding it into that person. So after that service, I'm usually kind of beat.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And that person is like, I feel like I can run a marathon. If I had a nickel for every marathon runner I made after a service, I would be all right. That's a lot of marathon runners. Everybody, I will run a marathon. I'm like,
and the thing is, Queen Nef, what I love that you're doing is through showing people this is what's going on with your body. That allows them to feel more in control. Now, I'm not taking anything against, saying anything against Western medicine. Every type of medicine has its place. But what I love about this is that it's not just, okay, so take this 3 times a day and you'll start to feel better. What you're showing is that, okay, listen, your body wants to heal itself. And we're going to start the process to help your body come back to equilibrium. But in order to do that, there's a part that you have to play. It's not like you're kind of on the sidelines waiting for the medicine to kick in. You're an active participant in this. So if you don't want to play, then this isn't going to work.
Exactly. If we're not teammates here, if we're not on the same fighting team, then, it's a losing battle. Yeah. Because I'm not going to be there every day. And then, I give people tools. To use when they're at home, for their mates, for their children. My grandson, when he gets in the car, as soon as I pick him up, I drive a couple of hours to go pick him up. And as soon as he gets in the car, he says, Nana, will you sit in the back seat with me? And then I'm like, okay. So I'll sit back, my friend, she'll drive. And then he'll just take off his shoes and politely place his little feet. Nana, can you do my side and you tie now?
I love it. Young.
It's all a ploy to get me. So now I already know. I'm like, man, okay, come on, son. But my grandson does Thai massage. He does it on me. So when I get
Beautiful.
home, I get to, when we get home, okay, now it's your turn. So I've taught him different places where our chakra points. There's
Mm-hmm.
chakra points all over our body. So I've taught him different chakra points. He knows about auricular therapy. He knows about Thai massage. And I'm saying he knows everything, but he has an idea. He does martial arts, so he knows that there's reasons for our movements and our
Mm-hmm.
postures that we do. So he's got a great connection. He's like, Nana, I'm healthy. I eat healthy, so I don't know about any of that stuff.
I
I don't
love
eat any of
it.
that stuff. So yeah, it's good to teach people along the way, so they're not just coming for the services, just pay you for this service. I'm actually giving you different things that you can do for yourself, different meditations, short meditations in the morning that you can
Mm-hmm.
do before you wake up. And you want to make it a well-rounded way of approaching your healing.
Right.
That mind, body, spirit connection.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things have to be addressed in
All of
weight loss.
them.
And
Yes.
that's exactly what I did when I was
Mm-hmm.
struggling with my weight loss. I approached it in a way that I used these building blocks that made sense to me,
Mm-hmm.
that I was able to, you know, uh, achieve these different goals each time.
Mm-hmm.
And that propelled me to just keep growing. I'm like, okay, there's different approaches to this thing. I can go and lose 200 pounds, 500, 100, 50, 30 pounds, and
Mm-hmm.
that's great. But if I have the same thought pattern and mentality and ideas, I'm gonna gain all that weight back plus more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then I'm going to add in more inflammation, more pain, more problems. I'm going to have more little orange bottles with the white tops. I'm just now I'm depressed.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to approach our weight loss, our health, our healthy life, our wellness in a whole complete spectrum: mind, body, and spirit. It's not just a thing to say.
It's
We
so
really
true.
do have to tap into each component of that: nutrition, mind, and body movement, and therapies like that.
That's so true. That's so powerful. And I do want to get into art. What is it? Articular.
Auricular.
Auricular. I have butchered
Ear.
that word. You don't know how I've been over here practicing, like, sound it out,
Oh,
Kai.
yeah.
Take your
I've
time,
always loved
child. Spell
difficult
it out.
words. That- that's- I've always loved difficult words, difficult spelling words and stuff to
Yes.
try. So yeah,
So I
it
was over
kind of
here
just
practicing, and then I still messed it up when I tried to say it. So I had to say, now, what's that word again? So I do want to talk about that. But before, I just wanted to say the point that you made about looking at our body as a whole. I think that's so important because for so many years, I looked at my body in piecemeal, and it's just not healthy. Like, kind of what I liked, I paid attention to. What I didn't like, I ignored. That is not
hmm
health. And even though, and my weight did fluctuate, but even when I was at like my highest, and people were, people would say, like, it didn't matter if I was at my highest or lowest because I wasn't working on the whole me. So
right.
as you said, my mind, my spirit suffered because even when I looked in the mirror, I still was looking at pieces. Like, I picked
hmm
apart what I liked, what I didn't like. So even when I lost the weight, I would feel it didn't make me really any happier. If I gained the,
Right.
like, I was still kind of just like not totally happy with my inner world. So
Yeah.
I think that's
I
so important
understand.
when you said you have to look at yourself as a whole, and your I can't even talk, body, mind, and spirit.
Yeah.
That's what we have to look at.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm able to talk about this stuff because this is how I lived my life. Like
Hmm.
these are
Right.
my experiences. I'm not talking about someone else's experiences. These were things. These were the conversations and the hard questions that I was asking my own self. As I was
Hmm.
coming through this, as I go through this journey. Because
Hmm.
life is a journey, not a destination. So
That's so
as I
true.
go through this journey, I'm like, wow. And new discoveries are fun, even if they're ones that you don't like.
Hmm.
Because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I can stop doing that now. You
Hmm.
know, I don't have to be subjected to that reaction anymore. I don't have to
Right.
be subject to my past issues anymore.
Hmm.
You never have to be subject to your past issues. It's just that people don't know how to release themselves from it.
Right.
So, having different, methods like, having different nutritional practices, healthier nutritional practices, having a healthy movement practice,
Mhm.
whatever that is. And I say
Mhm.
movement because everybody's not doesn't want to do yoga, and everybody doesn't want to lift weights. Everybody
Right.
doesn't want to run marathons, but there's
Mhm.
so many different things activity-wise that you can do to keep
Mhm.
yourself active. So, it's just finding out what it is that feels good to you, and you might have to try a few exercises before you
Right.
realize what it is that works.
What works?
I did Zumba. I really didn't like Zumba, but I love to dance.
Yeah.
So, you know, I love yoga. Of course, that's my life. 1993, that was the beginning of my yoga. So
Mhm.
that's always going to be a part of me. It makes me feel
Mhm.
beautiful. It makes me
Yeah.
feel open. It makes me feel sexy. It makes me
Uh-huh.
feel happy. It makes
Yeah.
me feel loose and limber and open.
Mhm.
And oh man, it's just so
Yeah.
much that comes with yoga.
I do. I
Um,
love yoga.
so yeah, so finding practices that help to release those stagnated areas, yoga practices, Thai yoga massage, auricular therapy. Auricular um, came to me last year, or has it been? It might have been 2 years now. Dr. Anki, he's a lead acupuncturist at Stroger Hospital at Cook County Hospital here in Chicago, which is one
Mhm.
of their main hospitals here, the county hospital here. And so I was actually introduced to his presence or his spirit through my Thai yoga massage therapy school. And my ashan, or my master teacher, had spoke about him and several other naturopath or traditional Chinese medicine practitioners, and just spoke about, so during the lectures while I was at school in Florida for Thai massage, um, and he's talking, I would always write down the books that he said to read, and I would
Mhm.
always write down the professors or the doctors or his, whoever it was that, or colleague that he was speaking about. And then I would always say, I'm going to meet this person. I'm going to work with this person. I'm going to know this person. We're going to be friends. And I would say that with each person that I felt that draw towards,
Mhm.
that resonate. So when I met Dr. Frank Urasek, I was back here in Chicago. I had heard about him because my Ashan had a Thai yoga massage practice here in Chicago for 13 years in Chinatown. And so he was telling me about Dr. Frank, and he was telling me about all these other wonderful, amazing doctors. And I've actually met one other doctors. And so I happened to be at a um, restaurant. I meet this brother that has a this is a long story, but I meet this brother that has a dog training facility.
Okay.
When I first got certified with Thai massage,
Uh-huh.
my sisters that I was with, we did a little tour around Florida, right?
Uh-huh.
We went to a friend's house, and the friend had a dog that was very sick. I
Oh,
mean,
I
so
remember
sick
you
that,
posted this.
yeah, he
It's
had
so
tumors
strange.
all over his body and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And so, first thought, Spears like, tie the dog. I'm like, what? You know, huh? He's like, no, no, you go ahead and tie massage the dog. That's going to be your first patient, customer, client. Okay. Because now hey, we connected. I'm listening. You tell me, and it's working. So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, let's tie the dog. So I start, I've always had dogs, so I know, different things to do. So I applied some of the Thai massage therapy to the dog. The dog jumped up. Now, mind you, the dog was limping around and all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
The dog popped up, looked at me, and was like, went over to his master and was ready to go back outside.
Oh, I love it.
It was so amazing. It was so amazing to watch
Beautiful.
him
Yeah.
from a few minutes ago. I mean, I didn't even spend a lot of time.
Mhm.
Acupressure throughout his legs, acupressure through the paws, finding
Mhm.
those points. Even if I don't know what meridian lines are on dogs, that's not the point. The,
Mhm.
the thought
Yeah.
was enough to heal
Mhm.
that body.
Right. Right.
The desire to make him feel better was enough for me to just push, just love on him,
Mhm.
in a different kind of way that he's not used to. Press on
Mhm.
those points. That dog got up, honey. he was good for months before he passed.
Wow.
Way quality of life was
Yeah.
much better when he passed,
Wow.
because he was an older dog and it was his time, but he had
Mhm.
months that he was given, and I know it was because of the Thai massage, and
Yeah.
also we gave him colloidal silver. So fast forwarding
Mhm.
to Chicago, I meet the Wolf Keeper at Wolf Keeper University. I'm
Mhm.
at a restaurant. He's like, I'm starting this health and wellness place, but it's going to be at one of my dog facilities, but it doesn't look like a dog facility. I'm like, okay. He said, it looks like a wellness center. I was like, okay. So I go over there. It's a beautiful place. I love it.
Mhm.
Like, it's so beautiful. And told him my dog story. And he was like, wow. So he's like, well, I have this other doctor. His name is Dr. Frank. And I was like, you know, okay. Now this is like a year later or so.
Uh-huh.
It's not like right up on the time. And I was
Right,
like,
right.
does this sound familiar? And there's a number of names I've written down.
Mhm.
So long story short, I ended up meeting Dr. Frank. He tells me this story about Thai massage, and he was like, I know a man that, I have a good friend that does Thai massage, and I think he's in Florida now. I said, what's his name? Ashan,
Wow.
Dr. Anthony James. And he said, yeah, 20 some years, that's my friend. I said, that's my Ashan. So me and Dr. Frank have been tight ever
I
since.
love it.
Yeah, we worked on some things together, and I love him, and he taught me auricular therapy. He taught me Suji therapy. He's always teaching, still
Now, what
teaching.
is our auricular therapy? I said it.
Auricular therapy is the study is the therapy that is used on the ear, and the way that it's used is there's points on the ear that represent the body's systems. That also
Mhm.
represents the organs, which it represents our emotional, our nervous system, our circulatory system. Every part of the body can be healed through the ear. It can be healed through the hand, through the
Mhm.
foot, and through the bottom part of the leg. I mean, if you really put your intentions on any aspect of the body, you can heal the entire body through the arm. But it's that's a whole nother
Wow,
process.
this is gonna be another. I'm gonna have to invite you back.
So what we do is we instead of, like I said, Dr. Frank's an acupuncturist. He
Mhm.
actually teaches acupuncture and everything. But when he was taught auricular therapy by one of the uh, Chinese medicine doctors that he knows, he came home. He was like, okay, well, I need to teach this to everyone. So he opened it up. He helps with veterans, and
Mhm.
so they come to the clinic, and he does auricular therapy, which is ear seed. If you look at these are little seeds right there
Mhm.
at the top. They're called
And so,
vicarious seeds.
if you're listening to the episode, just go to the Healing Element Podcast YouTube channel, and that way you can get a visual of what Queen Nef is showing us.
And so these are the ear seeds. And on the back, it's like a little band-aid. So
Mhm.
that's the little square band-aid on the back. It's just like that. So when I peel one of these off, I find the point on the ear where the problem is being caused. So, like right along here is our spine, right along the inside of that cartridge, like right here on this cartridge, this
Mhm.
cartilage, this is the spinal cord. Around here is our
Amazing.
shoulder. There's different, the eyes are here, usually where the earring hole is.
Mhm.
There's different points all throughout the ear. And if you press on your ear, if you did it right now, so if you were to take your finger and you were just to kind of squeeze along your ear, kind of hard, not too soft, you really want to squeeze it. And if you
Mhm.
were to feel anything that felt anything uh, extra, other than you
Mhm.
just squeezing your ear, you'll find that point that correlates with a part of your body that is having a situation,
Hmm.
or you may have some disease. So if you squeeze, let's say around here in this area here, which I said is the shoulder, right
Yeah,
in here, right?
this area is a little feels a little tenderish
Where's that? Okay, okay.
right
So
here.
have you been having any shoulder issues? Have you been
Yeah,
having any
because
neck?
of the doing yoga, doing a lot of that, the sun salutations. Oh my God,
Hmm.
all up
So
in
have you
here is
been
sore.
all up in your traps. Your neck is also there in that space, in that same space. So if you were to take your finger and to palpitate, so you're just going to press and massage that space 10 times, just with your finger alone, you'll start feeling a release of pain and pressure in your shoulders and in your neck. Press and massage 10
This is
times.
so amazing. Because I saw when you were doing this because you do Facebook Lives, in which you demonstrate the services that you provide. It could be yoga, as you said, body movement, dance, incorporating that together. And you were doing this type of therapy, and the client that you had, I think she had, I think it was hip pain or something.
Hip pain.
And so you started here, and you kind of massaging here, and she felt a little discomfort. You could tell that when you touched the part that was connected to the hip, she was like, "Oh, yeah, that's it." And you worked that out, and she did. She was like, "This," you could tell she was a little uncomfortable with it. But when you were done, you said, "So what's your pain now at this point?" And I think she said it was a 3 when it started before it, like a 10, a 7 or 10 or something like that. After you did that, I think that's when you started doing the Thai massage. And I was so fascinated by how our body is so connected.
Yes. Yeah. That is one reason why I love, auricular and different reflexology and stuff like that, because it does help you realize that the body is one unit. You mean my whole body is on my ear? Yeah,
right?
I do.
Amazing.
So how does your shoulder feel? You feel any
It
less
doesn't
tension?
feel as tight. Like up here was very tight. I think not only from doing the yoga, it's a lot of stress just with a lot of stuff going on with this COVID stuff and family. So I think, and I carry a lot of that tension all up here.
Yes.
And so it doesn't feel as restricting.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
and you would do that, and you could do it on both sides, both ears, and you'll just find that point, and you're going to press into that point to the point of discomfort. If you feel that area where it feels, you can feel yourself pressing, but it's a little extra twinge, like, ooh, what is that?
Yeah.
That's the pressure point that wants the attention. So what I would do if I were there, or if you had some of the seeds, you would just take the Band-Aid off the back, like I am about to do, because I do have a little bit of pain. I've been working out, getting myself right and getting ready for this, fighting this COVID. So I'm going to place the seed and the Band-Aid on the point. And you can get these seeds from, you can order them offline.
Oh, okay.
And so once you put the seed on the point, you want to make sure the seed is on that point, and you're just going to squeeze 10 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. You do that 2 more times throughout your day.
Okay.
Because right now, you're not feeling anything. But as soon as you start, if you start to feel it later on today, do it again 10 times. That's it.
Wow, amazing.
Yep.
How empowering is this?
And we teach, Dr. Frank taught me. He said, teach others.
Yeah.
Teach others to teach others, and go do the work. Go do the work.
And so, unfortunately, I could go on and on and on with you on this, because first of all, I love talking to you. I love your energy, your authenticity. But unfortunately, we have to wind down our episode. But so I want to ask you, if someone is interested in these type of therapies, they say, listen, I like this. I like how I am in control, more in control. I will feel more connected to my body. If somebody is looking for these type of services, do you have any recommendation on first steps, things that they should know?
First, you want to find, a practitioner that you trust. You want to always do the research. You do look up auricular therapists in your area. Just, always do a research, a little background.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you don't have to be certified to do auricular therapy.
Mm-hmm.
There is a certification that's out there that I plan to get as well, but just because I just want to see if there's more information, really. And
Mm-hmm.
because I do this work in the laundromat, waiting for my clothes to dry. If I see somebody walking in with a limp,
Right.
okay, no, I don't charge them, because I'm sitting here, you were like, how much is, oh my God, how much I owe you
Mm-hmm.
to go out here and be better. That's
Oh,
that's
I
that's
love
the
it.
payment for
Yeah.
me. So um yeah, you can always look up to see if you can find an auricular therapist or holistic practitioner that has that. If you, I plan to teach classes on auricular
Mm-hmm.
and on certain, not the entire Thai massage, but certain skills, certain tips that you can use for yourself. So
Okay.
planning class, that online class for people to
Beautiful.
be able to take is coming up soon, and that's going to be in May.
Okay.
So other than that, just research everything. If you find an interest in something, always just, Google, find books,
Mm-hmm.
ask other holistic practitioners if they've ever heard of these things or
Mm-hmm.
this practice or that. Always good to ask people, to get a good reference point, but to do your own research. I
Yeah.
Google everything.
Mm-hmm.
I go through and I don't start at page one.
Mm-hmm.
I go to page 5, 6, 7, or 8, 9, or 10. I want to see what past reviews have been said about this practice or that,
Mm-hmm.
and then go into your meditation and always allow spirit to lead you where you need to go,
For
because
sure.
that is going to be the ultimate direction right there.
Right. So true. And
Yeah.
then lastly, how this kind of ties in, because this podcast is about healing, and also
Hmm.
how it's important for us to heal, so that way the trauma and pain that we experience, that we're not then passing it on to our children. So
Yes, ma'am.
how is taking control of your healing through using these different modalities that you've provided, how does that help with stopping that transmission of pain, or breaking that cycle?
It helps. It starts because it helps to connect you.
Mm-hmm.
It helps to connect you with yourself and your stories. These practices bring you, they just innately bring you to that place of, wow, I got to do the check-in, I got to do the self-eval. I want to know why, and the and to break our whys up.
Mm-hmm.
This self-healing journey is not easy. It's not something that's pretty and painted, lovely. There's going to be some really scarred up, scabby stuff that you're going to have to peel off
Mm-hmm.
and then refresh with new bandages, but now
Mm-hmm.
you're using a more holistic practice, so it's bandages that will last.
Right.
It's not just bandages, it's actually healing that surface, that deepness to it, and then
Mm-hmm.
that topical surface is getting healed too. So finding that space, finding those people that can help you along the way, um, holistic therapists and things like that, incorporating more live foods into your diet. These are things that start to draw the cells to start to like bring attention more to your cellular makeup, and start
Mm-hmm.
to change yourself in that, from the cellular space, as opposed to just that surface cleansing. So that's what these practices do for me. They bring me to a real organic space where you can't hide behind anything,
Mm-hmm.
and you love the way it feels once you release something,
Mm-hmm.
so that whole feeling of, ah, man, wow, I don't have to hold on to that anymore.
Yeah.
So these practices, even with ear seeding, we have, spaces for your for your behavior,
Mm-hmm.
for your anxiety. There's points for PTSD on your ear
Wow.
that we use with
Wow.
the ear seeds. We use for Dr. Frank had came up with a sequence of places for people who had alcoholism,
Mm-hmm.
who were um, addicts, drug addicts as well. There's points on the ear. There's a sequence of points that you can use the seeds on to help to minimize the desire to have the drugs. So this is
Amazing.
not just about removing the pain, that physical pain. This is about going in deep to those traumas too.
Mm-hmm.
Thai massage is about going in deep and pulling all that crap out and getting those toxins running through that bloodstream so they can get out of your body, out
Mm-hmm.
of your waste,
Mm-hmm.
waste be gone, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
drinking more water, alkaline, high alkaline as best you can, you know, not always, but most of the time, high alkaline water to change the alkalinity of the gut. So you're
Mm-hmm.
working on your immune system through here. You're
Mm-hmm.
working on cleansing and replenishing our thoughts and ourselves and our emotions through our stomach, through our gut, through our sacrum, and our sacrum, and then releasing out through our root chakra all the stuff that doesn't need to be within us. So we're doing a holistic work,
Yeah.
and it's such an amazing thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't have thought of anything better to do with my time.
Yeah. It's so
Then
beautiful because when people are coming to you with like a type of physical pain, but through that, not only do they feel a release of that physical pain, but they also feel a release of maybe emotional pain that
yeah,
they've carried for years.
years.
Maybe they blame themselves for something that happened to them in child, and they've carried that, and then it has manifested in the body as some type of pain.
Yes,
So just the release of not only, oh wow, my hip doesn't hurt anymore, but also I no longer feel burdened by,
yeah,
whatever the trauma
yeah,
is. That
yeah,
is
yes.
priceless. Like you can't
It
put
is.
a price tag on that.
Yeah. I had
You are
a
doing
client
God's work.
yesterday.
Thank you so much for this.
Oh my gosh. I had a client yesterday, real quick. He was holding the burden of his father's death,
Mm,
and it wasn't even his fault. You know, it wasn't anything that he had done, but just the movements that he made,
mm-hmm,
like I'll just say dropping his father off,
mm-hmm,
at the hospital and
mm-hmm.
then leaving. That right there is a trauma, because when you
Yeah,
get back and there's something that's happened and you weren't
right,
there,
right,
you feel like it was you that did it.
right.
So now you're carrying anger, resentment. You're carrying a whole bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That is terrible. Like, don't
Yeah.
feel that way. That is not your fault. So
Mm-hmm.
ear seeds, I have clients that call and they're just like, man, I need a minute. Can we just
Mm-hmm.
talk?
Yeah.
You know, yeah. But this is good stuff. And I'll have them put their fingers on their ear and massage their ear if they don't have a seed.
It
Okay, put your
works.
finger right here in your ear.
Yeah. No, that works.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. I
thank
I
you
I
so
can't
much.
express enough how much it was a pleasure to have you. And if people want to know more about you, your services, I know folks want to get in contact with you. How are they able to do that?
Well, you can go to my Facebook page. My Facebook page is Wellness is Life. That is my Facebook business page. Feel free to leave a message there. Um, you can also go to my Instagram page, which is wellness_lifer, and you can leave me a DM there, or you can just give me a call at 708-792-3271, and we can have a discussion on what's going on with you and your health and wellness, and where you would like to be um, in your life right now. So,
Awesome,
any other
awesome.
spaces? Oh, and then there's also my Wakanna page for the Wakanna CBD, which is wellnessislife.wakanna.com.
Awesome. Do you want to talk a little bit about the Wakanda
Oh,
before we?
oh, my CBD. Yes.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get that in the screen. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't always come up real clear, and it's probably backwards. But what kind of CBD is the best CBD I've ever used in my life. I've used CBD before. It's great for anxiety, PTSD, insomnia, sexual dysfunction. It connects with 10 receptors in the body: the brain, the liver, the kidneys, every receptor, every organ that you can think of, the pancreas. This CBD oil connects with it and brings the body to a balance. It brings it to homeostasis, because we do not connect with our endocannabinoid system, which is a whole nother conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a system within all people, even animals, that requires cannabidiol, which is CBD.
Okay.
And this oil, this compound, connects with the receptors in our different parts of our body, like in our brain, and says, okay, you're deficient here, and you're not getting it from your food, and you're not getting it from any type of vitamin or anything that you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're taking the CBD, then it goes in, fills in those spaces, and helps to bring the body to a more balanced equilibrium. So like within our power, we have CBD oil, and then also has MCT, which is coconut oil. And there's
Okay.
also hemp seed oil, turmeric oil, black seed oil, and peppermint oil in our CBD.
Wow.
So ours is very essential. Like, we are completely holistic. We are 100% organic, triple
Mm-hmm.
lab tested. We are guidelines. We are through the guidelines, the state guidelines, federal guidelines, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just the bomb, girl. This stuff is so amazing for
I
people with
love
PTSD,
it.
and my clients that have anxiety and stuff. And we have topicals. So when you talk about, which is what we used before we started with
Mm-hmm.
a friend,
Mm-hmm.
well, actually, we did the auricular first, and then I used the topical CBD
Okay.
for her specific pain on her back.
Okay.
To help assist with the distribution of the CBD. And in our pain relief, the topical CBD, it's the same type of ingredients: basil oil, eucalyptus, peppermint, turmeric,
Mm-hmm.
that's to help with
All
inflammation.
natural. Yeah.
All natural, 100% amazing product. Wakanna. I love
Awesome. And I'll be sure to post that if you're
it.
listening or watching, I should say, on YouTube. That will all be in the description box. And I'll also make that sure that's in the description for the podcast as well. So you can definitely check out all of the services that that is offered. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Um, so with
Yes,
that being
yes, yes.
said, we're going to close our episode today. Please visit kaimarie.com to learn more about services that I provide, and also to learn more about the Healing Element podcast. Also, while there, make sure you sign up for the Journey to Healing newsletter, where you can get bi-weekly tips on how to manage your stress. You guys have a great day, and I will check in with you soon. Bye-bye.